You know that feeling, packed into a train or a bus on your way to work, feeling like a sardine in a can? Well, it's a daily reality for millions of us. Today, we're going to unpack the urban transit squeeze and really dig into why your commute is just so crowded.
So, how in the world did we get here? Well, it all kicks off with the incredible, mind boggling speed of how fast our cities are growing. Let's dive into section one, the urban acceleration.
Yeah, I'm guessing this question hits a little too close to home for a lot of you. It seems like you leave earlier and earlier, but you still end up arriving later. The train gets just a little bit tighter every year. The thing is, this isn't just in your head, it's a real global phenomenon. So, what's really driving this daily squeeze? Get ready for this number 200,000. That is the number of people who move into cities around the world every single day. Just let that sink in for a second. That's like an entire new mid-sized city popping up on the planet every 24 hours. Here's a great way to think about it. If a city is like a living, breathing body, then all its buses, its trains, its subways, they're the arteries and veins pumping life through it. And right now, that circulatory system is under some serious, unprecedented pressure. And the technical term for this massive force is urbanization. It's this relentless migration of people into urban centers, all looking for jobs, for education, for opportunity. But as our cities get bigger and bigger, the very systems that are supposed to keep them moving are being stretched to their absolute breaking point. Okay, so we've got the cause down, this explosive urban growth. But what are the effects? What happens when you put that much pressure on the system? Let's get into the system under strain. You know, the problem isn't just more people, it's that we're all moving around differently now. The old model, right, the classic 9 to 5, where everyone floods into one central downtown area, that's fading fast. Today's cities have multiple job centers, flexible hours, and these really complex travel patterns that are just a total nightmare for old-school transit systems. So this really all boils down to three core pressures that are hitting our transit systems all at once. First, you've got intense overcrowding on the most popular routes. Second, there's this chronic, long-term lack of funding for basic maintenance, let alone expansion. And third, you have unchecked urban sprawl, which just makes it harder and way more expensive to serve everybody. And that last point, urban sprawl, is a huge one. It creates what experts call transit deserts, these huge areas in and around our cities that are practically impossible to get around in without owning a car. Now, a transit desert isn't just an inconvenience, not at all. It's a major economic and social barrier. It literally cuts people off from better jobs, from good health care, from education, the very opportunities that cities are supposed to be providing in the first place. And this chart, wow, this really just says it all, doesn't it? Look at that gap. You have rider demand and population growth shooting through the roof, but the investment in our infrastructure is way, way down here. This is the fundamental imbalance that's at the very heart of why your commute is so crowded. So we've looked at the big picture, right? The system-wide problems. But what does all of this actually mean for the individual person just trying to get to work every day? Let's zoom in now and talk about the commuter's dilemma. This quote, this is what it actually feels like on the ground. This isn't about abstract data points or giant infrastructure projects anymore. It's about time. It's about the hours of our lives that are just gone, spent stuck in traffic or waiting for a delayed train. Hours you can never, ever get back. And this paints a pretty stark picture of the modern day, doesn't it? For so many of us, commuting eats up a massive slice of the 24-hour pie. I mean, look at this. 15% of the entire day is just gone, simply getting from one place to another. That is a huge chunk of time that could be spent with family or learning something new or exercising or just relaxing. So yeah, the daily grind has real tangible costs. It hits our wallets with gas and fares, it hits our mental health with stress, and it hits our physical well-being. It's a systemic problem for sure, but with deeply personal consequences. Okay, I know, the picture so far seems pretty bleak, but this is where things get really exciting. Let's look at how cities around the world are actually fighting back. It's time to talk about engineering the future. So here's the good news. Brilliant people all over the world are tackling this head on, and we're seeing this amazing wave of innovation that's getting real results. Things like bus rapid transit, flexible microtransit, seamless smart ticketing, safe bike networks, and just smarter urban planning. These aren't just pie-in-the-sky ideas. They're happening right now. Let's take a closer look at one of these. Bus Rapid Transit, or BRT. It's kind of genius in how simple it is. You give buses their own dedicated lanes, boom, they're not stuck in traffic anymore. You let people pay before they even get on, so boarding is lightning fast. You make the platforms level with the bus floor for super easy access, and you give the bus priority at traffic lights. All of a sudden, a bus can operate with the speed and efficiency of a train, but for a tiny fraction of the cost.
And what about those transit deserts we were talking about earlier? Well, this is where ideas like on-demand microtransit are a total game changer. The best way to think about it is like a super smart shared shuttle service you can call up on your phone. It's this flexible fleet of vehicles that can fill in all the gaps in the network, connecting neighborhoods to the main arteries of a city's transit system. And what all this really shows is a fundamental shift in philosophy. For decades, city planning was obsessed with one thing: moving cars faster. But now, the focus is on moving people. It's a complete reframing of the problem, and that's what's unlocking all these new and exciting solutions. So, where do we go from here? Let's bring it all together in our final section, What's Your Next Stop? This table just captures the transformation we're in so perfectly. Take coverage, for example. We're moving away from fixed, rigid bus routes to flexible, on-demand services. For efficiency, instead of being stuck in traffic, we're shifting to dedicated lanes and smart technology. And payment. Forget about fumbling for cash or separate tickets. It's all moving towards seamless digital integration. At the end of the day, this isn't just about having a less annoying commute. The economic health of our cities, social equity, environmental sustainability, it's all tied directly to solving this massive transit puzzle. So, we'll leave you with this question to think about. Looking at your own daily journey, in your own city, if you had the power to redesign just one piece of the system to make it better, where would you start? Thanks for joining us for this explainer.